who say they were touched inappropriately by Trump without their permission. The Times reports both women told others about what happened with Trump, but Trump is denying the accusations. He tells the Times none of this ever took place. Trump's campaign has been reeling since the release of a 2005 video which has him bragging about inappropriate behavior with women. Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, says her father-in-law is a fighter, and voters will have his back in November, however.
What I know is that he has the country's best interests at heart, and I think that millions and millions of Americans still understand that. So regardless of what he puts on Twitter, what comes out in any tapes, I think you will still see people backing him fully.
Meanwhile, Russia and the United States are at odds over who's behind the hacked emails of Hillary Clinton's campaign manager.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is rebuffing accusations that Moscow is meddling in the U.S. elections through hacking. But White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest repeated the U.S. government's accusation.
Russia is stealing emails and disclosing them in an attempt to destabilize our political system.
Putin called the attention flattering but denied interfering. He said hysterics have been whipped up to distract the attention of the American people. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Bermuda is bracing for Hurricane Nicole, which could become a major Category 3 storm. Schools and government offices on the northern Atlantic Ocean island closed. Shops and gas stations are reporting brisk business. While Bermuda has sturdy infrastructure and is accustomed to storms, residents are being urged to remain indoors on through tomorrow. Meanwhile, in Haiti, health workers are scrambling to respond to a spike in potentially deadly cholera outbreaks. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 16 points, the Nasdaq dropped 8, the S&P advanced by 2. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 877-247-1585. 877-247-1585. 877-247-1585. That's 877-247-1585.
Tonight, Space Mountain has finally received LED lighting, bringing Tomorrowland all the way into the distant year 2006. Avatar and Rivers of Light are in a race to open first, which no one wants to win. And the Main Street Electrical Parade is finally glowed away to California. But don't worry, they're sending us the Hollywood Tower Hotel sign to run in its place.
Oh, joy.
You've read WDW News today. Now you'll experience WDW News tonight. Yeah, big applause. We're the best. Yeah. I'm Tom Corliss. You're not. Nicholas Cicero. We're back.
Yeah, we are.
Nick in the control room over there. In the digital control room out there. Jason Diffendahl somewhere out there in Radio Land.
Hey, here I am, somewhere out here.
Thank you.
Here, oh, there I am.
Well, in the why are you in the dark?
Power. They're having rolling.
Are you staying at a Disney
brownouts.
resort? Do you have your $13 boxed lunch with you?
I did, but I'm really thirsty right now.
We have special provisions here for our studio audience.
Yes.
They're lined up at the fridge downstairs.
$13
in the kitchen.
Patreon.
Yes.
We'll send you a lunchbox. Anyway.
It's a better deal.
Yeah. It is, because tonight we're doing a post show for all of our WDWNT Interglobe Society members. So if you're a member later on tonight after the show, you get a special post show. How about that? But it's good to be back. You weren't here last week. You were out at New York Comic Con.
That it was.
How was it? You
had a blast. Every single panel I went to was just spectacular.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of great people. Had a great time. I bought a lot of artwork and just had fun up there in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York, always a good time.
It is good food. You know, it's very unfair, Tom.
I miss food a lot.
It's very unfair. You could literally walk out of a New York City building, walk a couple blocks in any direction, walk into a random pizza place,
Absolutely.
and just have a spectacular slice.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
See, but as a New Yorker, I'm picky about that.
probably.
I never get pizza in the city. Only in the Bronx.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like we do pizza better. I feel like it's still good pizza. Like, I would still pick Manhattan pizza over pizza anywhere else.
Right.
But there's something about pizza in the Bronx. I mean, especially the Italian section of the Bronx.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
No, I can understand that
Yeah.
once you're there, and then you could probably be picky and choosy about the pizza
Yeah.
there. But I mean, just coming from here, where
You'll be fine.
you can't even literally
Famous
wherever you are.
Ray's, Original Ray's, Famous Original Ray's, Pizza Rizzo's, any of those places. I'll be fine. Yeah.
Tony's Town Square? Do they do some good? No, okay.
Yeah, there's not one of those in New York. There's still an Alfredo's. And now the news brought to you by T Public. Nick, we got a lot of news to talk about. Let's talk about it. Despite being a non-event in Orlando, Hurricane Matthew's effects were felt at Walt Disney World last week. All of the I'm not on camera for some reason.
You should be.
No, I fixed it. I wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I was. I don't know.
You are.
It's acting funny. Despite being a non-event in Orlando, Hurricane Matthew's effects were felt at Walt Disney World last week. All the parks closed at 5 p.m. on Thursday and were closed for the entirety of Friday. Only the fourth time in history this has happened. Guests at resorts were complaining about Disney selling a hurricane pack at most quick service locations containing a sandwich, some fruit, and no beverage for $13. So I'm guessing these people had never been to a counter service before this. Yeah, right? Disney Springs opened at limited capacity on Friday night to resort guests only, even though no one was checking if people were actually resort guests. Many of the restaurants were extremely limited capacity or never managed to open at all that evening. So, an average Friday night at Disney Springs.
Wow. Yeah, sounds about it.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if we actually had a hurricane while you're gone, Nick, or if Lou Mangello just exhaled. I don't entirely know what happened. It wasn't. I went to bed.
Yeah.
Early on Thursday night, thinking this is going to be bad. I want to be up when it's supposed to be at its worst, which was like 3 to 7 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, 7. And I went to bed, and I didn't wake up till 9 a.m. And I look out the window at 9 a.m. and I go, doesn't look bad.
Nothing happened.
It looks, there's definitely a storm happening, but it's not too bad. And so by like 11 in the morning, everybody's sitting at home going, okay, can we go outside now? Can we go outside now? The curfew still hadn't been lifted. Yeah. And once the curfew was lifted, we're like, all right, when is Disney Springs opening? And then we went down.
Yeah. I tried to be a good person and like text my friends and family and pretend to be worried about them. And they were just like, well, look, I was having fun. I didn't really care what was going on here. And I, let's be honest. And they kept saying, well, nothing, a little bit of wind.
It missed us.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing that it wasn't much anything. The Hollywood Studios parking lot is officially expanding. And no, it isn't for the Osborne lights. Don't ask.
Oh, my.
Jeez. Currently, Disney is constructing a temporary conveyor structure across World Drive to shift soil across the road and into the park. That's right. DHS is as deficient in land as it is in attractions. Disney has stated that this multi-year project, this is a multi-year project, and they'll be sharing more information on the project soon. Now, whether this simply means that the parking lot will grow or that a parking garage is coming remains to be seen, but we'll keep you in the loop as best we can. Of course, a new entrance for cars on World Drive has already been announced. So there's that.
Parking garage.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that.
No?
At a theme park? No.
It works at Universal.
It works well at Springs, and it's fine at Universal.
It does work at Universal. For some reason, I feel it wouldn't work at a single Disney theme park.
I think.
Yeah?
I hate the tram, so anything that would avoid a tram is wonderful. You know, Nick, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about exactly what guests can do and what they will see when Pandora, the world of Avatar, opens in 2017. Like, will it open in 2017? An inside source provided us our first look at some of the pins being developed for the attraction, revealing some interesting details about this project that have been shrouded in mystery so far. Jason, can you pull up, can we show people the images of these pins? I don't know if it's showing or not. I'm having problems.
It should be. It's there.
It should be. Okay. I'm not seeing it. But
You're not seeing it.
Anyway. The Ace logo pin you're seeing now, in fact, confirms that Ace will play a huge role in the experience on the planet. This, of course, is not Ace hardware because then maybe the land would have been done a lot sooner. I get a rim shot for that one.
That's a good one.
Ace hardware joke gets a rim shot. All right, fine.
Definitely does.
Ace was first introduced to guests at an exhibit previewing the Avatar-themed land at the 2015 D23 Expo. While we know we will be immersed in the story of Avatar, since many cast members working in the area will need to learn the fictional Na'vi language and culture, it also appears that Disney branding will not be clearly present on any of the merchandise either. This will continue the illusion that guests are on Pandora and that Ace is actually their host for the experience, selling merchandise in their own gift stores on the planet.
That's amazing.
Cast members will reportedly wear Ace name tags as well, rather than the Walt Disney World name tags worn in all other park areas. While they may just be pins, this, of course, is our very first look at merchandise, first look at anything new in quite a while, actually, in regards to the project. And, of course, we are going to hear more for sure at Destination D next month at Walt Disney World. But until then, let the speculation begin. Nick, I know we usually play the music and you dance and it's a big joke, but I think we may be close to the opening. There wasn't even a joke. Maybe it is a joke that I'm saying it's going to open soon. Who knows? Anyway. A little over a week ago, LED lighting was finally installed on the facade of Space Mountain in Tomorrowland at the Magic Kingdom. Pretty much every other version of the attraction on Earth that exists already has this LED lighting, but finally Florida shines brightly in the night sky. But in fairness, they needed Stitch to close so they could just rip the lights off of there. So anyway, that's it. That's the joke I have for you. It's done. Annual pass holders get your 20% merchandise discount is back.
Yes,
it's back.
Rejoice.
As well as 20% at a ton of major counter service and table service locations as well. What is this, Disneyland? Don't start caring about us all of a sudden, Disney World. We're going to start to expect special treatment or something. I mean, come on.
That was a crazy announcement.
It is. It's insane. I didn't even renew tables in Wonderland because I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't needed to use it yet. Hey, the Muppets now have shows in 2 Walt Disney World theme parks with Muppets Present Great Moments in American History in Liberty Square and the return of the Muppet Mobile Labs at Epcot. Man, I hope they don't cancel either of these prematurely. Get it?
Yeah. No, I'm just counting. Are you not counting Hollywood Studios?
It's not a live show.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Anyway.
There's a live actor.
But anyway, with these new offerings popping up, are people still really convinced we can't get a Tron ride? I mean, the Muppets had a failed movie, a failed TV series. They can't find anything that works for them. And we're still pumping out Muppets.
How was the mobile lab?
I love it.
Is it good?
It's still wonderful.
Yeah,
as wonderful as I remember.
Good.
Yeah. Go check out the video on YouTube. It's really wonderful. Another calendar comprised of Disney attraction posters is on the way for 2017. Posters this year will include the Crystal Palace, Starjets, and America the Beautiful, just to name a few. This just in, though, they're already announcing the 2018 calendar. Posters on that calendar will include Stitch's Great Escape, Extra Morning Magic, and Shutters at the Caribbean Beach Resort.
Oh, that elusive Shutters
They're running out of posters. What are they going to do? The Shutters posters really need it's just the menu. Anyway, guests can now experience an unforgettable wedding in the place where dreams come true. The Magic Kingdom After Hours experience is an exclusive, highly customizable ceremony and reception in a setting unlike any other, and probably the only thing more expensive than the regular Disney After Hours event. The new event was introduced this week by Disney Fairy Tale Weddings right before they dove into Scrooge McDuck's money bin. I have more from the official website. This tailor-made fairy tale takes place after Magic Kingdom Park closes, which will probably be early soon. Treasure your nighttime wedding in this land of wonder and delight and create memories in debt that are sure to last a lifetime. This unique wedding experience is the perfect choice for couples searching for something truly magical and unforgettable rather than owning a home. Take in all the beauty and wonder of the Magic Kingdom without all the crowds, just like Friday. It'll be like your own personal hurricane. Experiencing the stupidest thing. Experience an exclusive ceremony and reception at the heart of it all.
I think we need to sign these people for a weekly commercial.
Live out your fairy tale in true Disney style. Imagine riding in Cinderella's coach down a beautifully lit Main Street as a majestic Cinderella castle awaits you in the distance. And enjoy a setting unlike any other as you celebrate your special day with friends and family. This event can accommodate up to 300 guests, more than Hollywood studios currently. Disney chartered transportation is required for this venue because nothing says romance like a smelly resort bus. Of course. I'm in rare form tonight. Can we pull up the concept art for a moment, please? Jason, do you have that concept art? You have a pointer. You have a pointer on screen. All right, this is the front of the castle on the concept art. Looks normal, right? It looks like Cinderella Castle. Can we show the concept art of the back of the castle? Okay, what happened? Did Hurricane Matthew lift one of the hub turrets up onto the castle? What is going on here?
What is that?
Like what? Clearly the same person drew both of these. So there's like a turret that's just not there in real life.
Here's the actual back of the castle.
Yeah, so next to that, over on the left there,
2, 3,
where that cloud is, kind of, there's just this big extra turret in the concept art.
There we go.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Apparently for the amount you spend on this wedding, they can afford to put a whole extra turret on Cinderella Castle. There you go.
Fantastic.
All right. We're moving on. In 2017, the NFL Pro Bowl is coming to Orlando, and while this year's event will be held at the Camping World Stadium, yes, that's the real name, not a joke, on Sunday, January 29th, the Walt Disney World Resort will be a part of the team hosting the Pro Bowl 5K Run, a celebratory parade featuring Pro Bowlers at the Magic Kingdom, and a team practices at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. The official practice site of the Pro Bowl will be the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. Everyone is invited to come out and catch their favorite Pro Bowl players in practices on the field, of course, unless, of course, you are a Dolphins fan, because no one on your team is going to make the Pro Bowl. It will be a magic-filled afternoon as everyone's favorite Pro Bowlers join Mickey and his pals for a parade down Main Street, USA. And Disney Springs will host even more Pro Bowl excitement during this event, but not at Jock Lindsay's, because Jock Lindsay's is kind of like the Patriots, where it was having this one perfect season and then it blew it all in the end. Not to knock Jocks, but the food was so bad I was choking like the Red Sox.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Nick, Big Poppy and the Big Bad Wolf have a lot in common. Did you know that?
Yeah, no,
you can't see them both anymore, and they both blow. Anyway.
Not nice. At least you made fun of your Dolphins, but come on.
I did. In fairness, I made fun of the Dolphins. So, yeah, you can mark your calendars now. Get ready for some football fun. Registration for the Pro Bowl 5K and tickets to the Pro Bowl will be available beginning October 25th. You can check out probowl.com for more information.
I wonder if I want to do the Pro Bowl 5K. I don't know.
You can. I'm not joining you.
Come on. It's a
I
5K.
will probably go to the parade, in fairness.
It's a 5K, Tom. I'm pretty sure you can handle it.
Looking for a fun night out on Halloween, Nick? Well, STK Orlando at Disney Springs will be hosting Yellowween, its first Halloween bash on October 31st. Guests will enjoy a 2-hour open bar, small bites, drink specials, and a live DJ, and more. Tickets are just $50 a person. Surprising good deal for an open bar type event. Nick, this Halloween event makes a lot of sense because, it's usually like a ghost town at SDK. Kind of spooky.
So we had two questions about this. Number one, why do they have drink specials for an open bar?
They probably made special cocktails.
Oh, you think that's what they mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's
like special drinks.
That weird?
Yeah,
why not have a yellow? Like they probably have a yellow teeny or something. Stupid
Now is it yellow or yell? Is
Yelloween?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Yelloween.
Is it yell like scream? Like
or is it
yell?
yellow the color because the stripe was yellow?
I know, but what does that mean?
I don't know. We're not hip enough to understand anything going on at SDK.
Is that a millennial thing?
I don't get it. I'm sure it is. I don't know. Millennials confuse me. I barely know how to use my new iPhone. Me using my new iPhone is like that guy trying to draw Cinderella Castle. It's going to turn out wrong. Master sommelier George Miliotes will bring his renowned wine expertise to Disney Springs at Walt Disney World Resort with his new venture, Wine Bar George. When it opens in fall 2017, Wine Bar George will be the only master sommelier-led wine bar in Florida. Miliotes is widely regarded as one of the restaurant industry's foremost wine experts with accolades and awards from national publications, including The Wine Spectator. Miliotes is no stranger to the Walt Disney World Resort. He was a part of the opening team of California Grill at the Contemporary and managed the venue from 1995 until 2002. While there, he created an award-winning wine list and one of the first 100 wines by the glass list in the entire country. And is one of only 230 worldwide industry professionals certified by the Court of Master Sommeliers. Miliotes will feature wines from famed growing regions, both stateside and abroad, at Wine Bar George. The location will offer an unparalleled wine list, including more than 100 selections, both by the bottle and by the glass. Additionally, they will have a food menu featuring small plates, cheese, and charcuterie designed to complement the wine list. Guests can expect their experience to include wine education, which will be served up in an approachable and fun manner as well. When the 2010-seat wine bar opens, it will join a growing and remarkable group of dining, shopping, and entertainment offerings at Disney Springs. The design for the 6,000-square-foot space will be reminiscent of a winemaker's home estate featuring oak wood, warm lighting, and a welcoming, comfortable atmosphere. And why are we not making fun of Wine Bar George? Because Mr. George Miliotes was nice enough to grant us an interview next week, so you can expect to hear more about Wine Bar George next week. And while you're waiting, you can visit winebargeorge.com.
Very cool.
Yeah. Nope. All right. I'm going to move on then. Fantastic. Let me check something real quick.
With you. Checking out over there, making sure everything's okay with the next news story.
There's some technical difficulties we're having, apparently.
A little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Happens. Yeah.
The
cue cards are off a little bit, maybe.
Sure, that's completely what's happening.
Bad lighting.
We're not having phone troubles or
no
anything of the sort. Nothing's supposed to happen right now
or
anything. Yeah.
WDW.
What? Wait, well, Nick's getting a phone call. This is completely unexpected.
Hey, Tom.
What?
Hey, Tom.
What is it, Nick? I'm in the middle of the news.
No, I know, but we just unexpectedly got this really important phone call, and I have to put this through. You have to. In the middle of the news, you want me to take this? He insists that it has to be right now. Right now. He called with some urgency.
All right. What is it?
Bonjour, Disney people. It is Whiny Jacques.
Whiny Jacques, the talking bottle of wine?
Yes, Senior Corkboard. Whiny is here.
All right. Senor isn't even French.
I know you aren't. Please stay on the subject.
All right. What do you want?
Whiny Jacques is here.
And we know, and he needs to lie down. Are you finished?
No. He needs to announce that he is opening a place for the fun wines in Disney Springs.
You are getting a place. Whiny Jacques is getting an establishment at Disney Springs.
Oui, it is called Wine Bar Jacques.
Wine Bar Jacques.
Oui.
Look at this. He has a graphic. We don't have graphics for half the segments in this show. There is a logo for Wine Bar Jacques. I just want to point The fake wine bar got a graphic this week.
I want to go there.
Wine Bar Jacques will be the first and finest winery in all of Disney Springs, choosing only from the finest $5 to $10 wines from the public supermarket. One has selected the Yellowtail wines, most proven to get the women schnockered. When he, of course, began his sommelier career at the Crossroads Shopping Plaza, opening the infamous Jungle Gyms before moving on to the
Right.
Chevys.
There's no way Jungle Jim's had a sommelier.
Then I moved to the Chevy, the parking lot.
Across the parking lot. It is across the parking lot. I've been there.
Now I will bring all the finest wine knowledge to the people, teaching them about the wonders of the cheaply priced grocery store wine.
Oh, give me a break.
Wine Bar Jacques will be located just behind the Pop Gallery on the west side. You know, the weird little tiny alleyway that is currently just a planter.
You say Weast? The Weast. Anyway, the Pop Gallery. There's a planter there. How big is this place going to be? How many seats you going to have?
This is she has none.
There's no
Wine
seats.
No, the Wine Bar Jacques will consist of 4 standing tables with a set of pillows directly beneath them for when you need to lie down, maybe.
As you do, yeah.
The table will be made from recycled materials, the last little bits from the D Street store display.
That's what happened to the D Street store.
Ah,
display.
there they went. Okay.
Well, Whiny, it sounds wonderful.
Don't Patreon me, Mr. Corkis. Just you wait. The Wine Bar Jacques will be the swankiest place in all of the Disney Springs, especially if the steak closes. Our rooftop terrace will be filled with music, despite our poor signage, lack of a host. This is sounding familiar. And the fact that it looks like a closed warehouse.
So you have the STK business model, is what you're saying.
It's just steak aesthetic, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, Whiny, we, of course, as always, wish you the best of luck.
Merci. I will see you all at the Wine Bar Jacques in 2023 when this is completed. As you see, we gathered the construction crew from the Rivers of Light team.
Rivers of Light
to build
people
it, of
are
course.
going to build a wine bar that makes a lot of sense. A wine bar behind the Pop Gallery in an alley between that and the parking garage.
Oui.
Okay. Whiny Jacques, ladies and gentlemen.
Whiny.
Who's that?
Whiny.
I think Whiny said he needs to lie down. I think he dropped the
I think
phone.
so. I think he did.
All right. Whiny,
Oof.
Whiny Jacques, everybody.
That is a great location. I'm there. Opening day. Let's open it.
Tom, why don't you do characters anymore?
That is prime location.
My script is all out of
I don't even like wine, but I'm there with you.
You're
Tom.
going to Wine Bar Jacques. Can we pull up that logo again, Jason? Can we see the logo again
That's
for Wine
gorgeous.
Bar Jacques?
I can't wait to see that all lit up right there in Disney Springs.
Yeah, we're in that back alley. I'm sure it's going to be a real big frontage there between the Pop Gallery and that.
I need the.
Whiny just texted me that he dropped the phone on his foot, and now he needs to lie down. But anyway,
Did we take that graphic from the limited release tee that's coming out in the Disney Store.com website?
there's a wine bar. You think there's a wine bar?
I think so.
Jacques
I think it's a limited release. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to make that a shirt. Well, poll people in the chat. Would you buy a Wine Bar Jacques T-shirt? Ask them. We'll make it if you'll buy it. I guess. I really don't want it, but we'll do it. We move on now. This is a disaster. A few weeks ago, Jon Favreau was named the director of the live-action version of The Lion King. Now it looks like we have another animated classic going the live-action route, and it'll be Guy Ritchie directing the live-action version of Aladdin. Ritchie's credits include Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So was the director from Alice Through the Looking Glass busy?
Yeah, I don't get
What?
this. I don't get this.
What? I mean, it does make some sense because
Really?
he used to be married to Jafar.
I don't get that.
Why do you not get that? It's so brilliant. You don't know who Guy Ritchie was married to? Madonna. The bone, like the bone
okay,
struck. Come on, it's so good.
I'll give you that.
So good. Nick, who brought us the news?
Tonight's news, of course, brought to you by TeePublic. Don't forget to shop apparel and accessories for Disney fans through WDWNT.com and TeePublic. Just head over to WDWNT.com, click on the TeePublic link to shop from hundreds of designs for t-shirts, phone cases, prints, and more, including exclusive WDW News Today logo apparel and original creations like Whiny Jock's bar, grill.
It's not there yet.
Okay, no, okay. Tom Gores mean tweets. That's I saw another one of those shirts. I forget on the 45th. On the 45th, I saw one. Yeah, I saw one in the crowd. Someone was wearing one of those.
You know, we have moved a tremendous amount of Make the Movie Ride Great Again shirts.
Awesome.
I'm waiting to run into that one because it has been our. It surpassed hard hats as our number 1 selling shirt of all time.
Really?
Yeah,
That's more than 7,
moved.
huh?
We moved. I'll say there's a few hundred of them out there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a
them.
big deal. Make the movie ride great again. So I'm looking forward to running into those in the wild.
That's pretty cool. You get the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad shirt. That celebrated the 9th anniversary of WDWNT. So go ahead and make the most of tonight's commercial breaks. Head over to WDWNT.com and start shopping by clicking on that TeePublic link. TeePublic, an official partner of WDW News Tonight.
So, Nick, we're playing WDWNT The Pyramid tonight, so you can start calling in at 407-774-8255. Don't be late like Whiny calling in. Go ahead and call in now if you want to play for some fabulous prizes from Theme Park Connection. We'll be right back with more WDW News Tonight right after this. Nearly everyone loves Italian food, but those people who love true, authentic Italian go to Tony's Town Square Cafe. It's because owner and chef Tony Ragu offers home-cooked food from his hometown, Toledo, Ohio. He is 1/8 Italian. Locally sourced Cask Connection freezer items are combined with prepackaged ingredients imported only from the OBT Winn-Dixie, along with mangled recipes from nearly unreadable Buitoni labels. Whether it's quote-unquote pizza or that soup of the day which just hasn't changed in 14 years, taste for yourself at Tony's Town Square, just steps away from that hat store that sells pins. Come taste what the guide map is calling Italian food, only at Tony. And maybe at Portobello.
The U.S. stock market's on the brink of collapse. World currencies will soon freeze and devalue, and gold will hit $10,000 per ounce. So says New York Times best-selling author and economist Jim Rickards in his latest book, The New Case for Gold. Hi, my name is Adam Barata. I'm the managing director at Advantage Gold. Advantage Gold is on a mission to warn everyone about the massive risks facing all investors right now. And that is why Advantage Gold is giving away Jim Rickards' latest best-selling book absolutely free. Call 800-900-8000 right now to get your free copy. That's 800-900-8000. In this book, Jim explains how loose credit has created massive asset bubbles, why central banks are no longer able to prop up economies by taking on more debt, and why demand for gold will soon spike worldwide, driving the gold price to as high as $10,000. If you care about your financial future, please call now. 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. My name is Adam Barata. We are Advantage Gold, and your future is safe in our hands. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold has the highest ratings according to TrustLink, with a 100% 5-star rating.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 877-247-1585. 877-247-1585. 877-247-1585. That's 877-247-1585.
There's romance and adventure, there's laughter and much more. With our imagination, imagine what's in
we're back. Welcome back to WDW News Tonight. We're live at listen.wdwnt.com, of course, on the radio at AM 1520 WBZW in Orlando. We're on WDWNT, the app. We're on YouTube. We're live in a whole bunch of places. I'd like to thank you for joining us once again this week. So we are still doing WDWNT, the Pyramid, coming up shortly. You could still call in, be a part of that, play for some fantastic prizes from Theme Park Connection. The number is 407-774-8255 to call in. But before that, Nick, we're angry.
I have access to the entire curse word library. This new console is done.
It's a damn poor mind indeed. Can't think of at least 2 ways to spell a word.
No privacy is all around this place.
I don't like Sam.
I don't like James. It was bad.
It was awful.
I was terrible.
Get him away.
Hey, boo!
Tom,
you want to lead off?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Because mine is a long rant.
It
You know
is.
that already.
It is. So, as you know, I was in, ours are kind of related actually today. I was in New York Comic Con this past weekend. And, all right, we've been to like conventions and we line up for merchandise. We line up for stuff.
Yeah.
We as fans of things like to line up for stuff.
We do like our stuff.
Whether they be panels, whether they be merchandise, all I think we ask for. We know there's going to be people who get, who don't get in or don't get what they want, and there's going to be some things like that. But all we really ask for, if anyone's out there organizing anything, is consistency. If I get consistency, I am happy. I am okay with not getting. I'm mad. I'd be mad not getting what I wanted or not getting into the panel I wanted, but I want consistency. And that was actually the problem at New York Comic Con this past year, and it kind of extends to other events and things like that. On the first day, they switched from a wristband thing to a tapping our badge and hoping that it knows that I tapped into this panel, and on the other end I'd be able to get in. Well, they weren't completely ready for this in such a way that tapping the thing at the beginning, it gets people through so much more faster. So people were done instead of getting these wristbands. People were kind of done faster, and the crowds were kind of colliding apparently on the first day. The crowds coming in and going out. They didn't have an exit plan and everything. So the first day they tapped right away. You got in, you tapped, you went in, you went about your business, and you could go through the convention. The second day, they made us wait for hours before they even started. And then, you see, my problem is you can't plan. Like if they're not consistent, if you don't know what they're going to do, you can't plan, and you plan
So many of these
incorrectly.
big events seem so poorly planned, and I don't know if it's just there's so many moving parts or not.
Maybe, but I could tell they were having discussions, and they didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know how they were going to tap everybody's badge either, and they were telling the people up front different things. They told us 3 different stories, kept coming back to us, and they were just getting people angry because we didn't know what was going on. So communication's another thing. But then the next day, they went back to tapping right away for the first few hundred people, then stopped tapping the badges, and people that were coming through weren't getting, and there were people that already got reserved seats, and it was
This is eerily similar to mine.
It was an absolute mess because they weren't consistent. Just be consistent. Pick a way and do it. And I don't even know what they did on the 4th and final day. But that's just the thing. With any of this stuff, figure out a way to do it and stick with it. Even if it's maybe not the best way of doing it, stick with it so people can plan and know what they're doing.
Mine is somewhat similar. I'm going to yell about the Haunted Mansion mug. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. So Trader Sam's here has released a Haunted Mansion tiki mug, very similar in style to the one at Disneyland, which sold out in a day. And instead of just selling them or just giving people wristbands as soon as they show up, they've devised this ridiculous system. And the ridiculous system requires, number one, a line that takes place outside. And the line will last until 3 o'clock. They have decided they will not give out wristbands till 3 o'clock. So you have to get in this line, be in the first. It started as the first 200. That was the number. Even managers in person at Trader Sam's, when you asked, how many are you doing tonight, would say, we are doing 200 mugs. Okay, fine. So you knew you had to be in the first 200 people or whatever. So you go and you line up. You got to wait till 3 o'clock for a wristband, which is a pain. The first however many people get a pager. Beyond that, then you have to stick around for them to call you to get a pager. And then you have to wait for your pager to be up and going. So it's a fairly convoluted system for this mug. They want you to sit down and have this drink. They're not selling the mug any other way. You have to sit down and have the drink and go through the whole process. There's no easy way to do this, apparently. Beyond that, the drink is awful. The Fog Cutter is the worst drink I've ever had anywhere in my entire life. No one I've encountered likes this drink. I have actively gone around while people are drinking the Fog Cutter and asked, does anyone actually like this thing? Are you enjoying your Clorox? Things like that. No one likes it. Everyone barely finishes it. And they won't sub anything out. So the first complaint is, number one, this mug is $30-something, almost $40 after tax and tip. There are only 2 alcoholic drinks more expensive on the Trader Sam's menu, the OA and the Nautilus. Why not just offer people a different beverage? They're not serving them in the mug anyway. You literally get it in a plain glass, and then you can redeem for your mug when you're done and you check it. That's what they're doing. Beyond that, though, not only was it set at $200 a day for 10 days, that was what they were going to do. It's what a manager specifically said to people at Trader Sam's. One day I went and they did not do 200. They were stopped short by a manager who was angry they were selling the mugs basically in the middle of a hurricane. So when I asked, did you reach 200? The cast member outside angrily stated, we're not doing 200 a day. That's not real. That's not a thing. Whoever told you that is wrong. It's incorrect. We did the number we said we were going to do today. And I didn't want to push it. I walked away. The next day when I got in line, and before anyone thinks I'm an eBay reseller, I actually have gone back several times to help less fortunate people who either don't live here or went out of town. Nick.
Thanks, Tom.
To wait 3 hours for you for a mug. You're welcome.
Love you, Tom.
Yeah, I know. I'm wonderful. So this guy makes a point in his spiel when he comes up and down the line outside the next day. He makes a point of saying one of his things beyond telling you how much the mug is and what you can get in it and how the line's going to work, decides he's going to shout out a fact that literally means nothing to anyone standing there at that time because there's less than 200 people. The only thing people standing there at that point actually care about is if they're going to get a mug. But he decides to yell that we don't have 200 mugs today. Whoever told you it's 200 mugs a day is incorrect. The number's ever right. We have an undisclosed amount, and that's what we're doing per day. I, being the smartass that I am, ask, excuse me, how many mugs are you doing today then? The response, this is not paraphrased. This has not been changed to be more entertaining to you, the listener. The exact wording he used was roughly 200. So this man, in anger that somebody knew that the number was 200, has decided that he wants to yell about the number not being 200 because it's probably somewhere between 190 and 210 a day, varying based on what happened the hurricane day where they didn't give out 150 or they didn't give out 200 mugs. So he has decided it is more fun to yell that everyone is wrong and then respond that we actually have roughly 200 mugs, which we all know is very different from having 200 mugs. It's a completely different thing. So that's what I'm angry about. I'm angry that this man believes there's roughly 200 mugs a day, despite the fact that everyone clearly stated it was 200 a day. And it doesn't really matter to yell about it, except to the people who probably show up towards the end and are beyond the 200 mark. Those are the only people that actually matters to, not the people who are within the first 50 in line. Also, beyond that, it is taking way too long to get 50 people through there. But we don't have time to get into what a disaster this is. This is literally just a social experiment for how hard they can push Disney fans for a mug, and eBay resellers for that matter. They are pushing us to invest several hours a day into a mug. You will at least have to put in at least a minimum 4 hours to get a mug.
And to see if you down the drink that's horrible.
And the drink's horrible, and they're not like filling Trader Sam's. They're actually like only doing a certain number of people at a time, so there could be only 15 people in there at a time while there's hundreds waiting outside to get called to go buy the mug. It's garbage. It is horribly handled. It is disgraceful, and whoever in food and beverage is in charge of this should be fired. The number one problem in my book is not that they are cheating Disney fans or these people waiting for the mug. My biggest problem is there actually have been people who just want to go to Trader Sam's, who are just on vacation, staying at the Polynesian even, paying a tremendous amount to stay at the Polynesian, and have to wait hours to get into Trader Sam's because this has been so poorly handled. That is disgraceful that you are basically shutting down other guests because you have decided to handle this mug procedure in the way you are. I think it has been just so poorly handled.
And honestly, they could probably just treat it like merchandise, right? And just have
they
a
could.
line.
The problem is food and beverage wants to make their sales. But that being said, they could staff the outside window
That's what
at
I mean.
1 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock, everyone would be gone. 200 mugs would be sold.
Right, exactly.
This doesn't need to be this way. Someone had the smart idea in food and beverage that if they force people to sit inside Trader Sam's, they will spend more money.
Eat food, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of works in effect because by the time you're done sitting there, you probably are starving because you've been there for several hours, unless you went to Captain Cook's in the meantime, which you really can't because you have to be in the line for the most part of the time. It's idiotic. It's as much as we've seen progress, which I think Magic Kingdom 45th, even though you waited a little while, it seemed like it was handled.
Oh, it was handled
pretty well,
wonderfully.
Yeah, I mean, having a separate like merchandise pickout area and then the checkout. Like I know it took a while, but it's a great demand. But at the same time, at least it was. It seemed to go well.
You picked up your merch in one area, and every single register in every room was open to allow you to check out. So they set you to open registers. It was great.
There you go. And this is instead you're making people wait 4 hours for a mug. It's idiotic.
Well, we have
completely idiotic.
We still have some open slots for the WDWNT, the Pyramid. It's all Halloween themed, by the way, this week. It's cool. We have some spooky categories.
There's some really good
categories. And Pyramid's pretty easy,
Someone's
pretty quick
gotta
game.
play Pyramid. Come on, call in people. I could see there's plenty of people watching right now. Call in and get a prize. Come on, the game is easy enough. It's just like regular Pyramid, but Disney World theme.
Yeah, 407-774-8255. 407-774-8255. While we're waiting for that phone call, Tom, let's talk a little bit more about food.
Yeah.
Okay, crackpots, let's get cooking.
Remember when Jock Lindsay's was good?
Well, that's your opinion. Mediocre.
Oh yeah, you never had a good experience.
No.
Jock Lindsay's, in an attempt to rebuild the grandeur that once was, after redoing the menu to appease guests who ruined the menu for everyone else, they have decided to do a happy hour menu and as well a seasonal menu. This review is up at WDWNT.com if you want to follow along, if you haven't read it yet. The happy hour menu includes 3 appetizers not typically on the menu. It's offered from 3 to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. There are wings, there are nachos, and there are loaded fries. The loaded fries don't really have any toppings on them, number one. All these portions are fairly small, and they're $7. Yeah, $7. The nachos are really standard, nothing special about them. The wings were very good. Then there's the real big problem is the seasonal menu. Lately, Disney has been testing my patience with flatbreads. There is currently, Jason, I don't know if we can pull this up for everybody. There is a what I would call a Thanksgiving flatbread. I'm blanking on the actual name right now. I don't know if Jason's there right now to do it, but it is. You can see it at WDWNT.com if you look. It's a flatbread with basically the contents of Thanksgiving dinner on it. These things don't really mix well, generally, but they've been placed on a flatbread. And it's kind of like, well, we don't want to do another sandwich. We have plenty of sandwiches on the menu. What if we just placed all this stuff on a flatbread? Like, would it be all right if we just threw turkey and all this other garbage onto it? Basically, if we took the holiday sandwich apart at Earl of Sandwich and threw it on top of a flatbread,
Yeah.
would people buy it?
Junior's Thanksgiving flatbread.
Junior's Thanksgiving flatbread. This was one of the more vile things I've ever had. The cheeseburger flatbreads are both still worse than this.
Now,
both
come
of them.
on.
Both of them. But this is real bad. It's like a bad cold cut sandwich with things from Thanksgiving you didn't want to eat thrown on it. And it's real awful. The other thing is the drink specials aren't all that great. They're okay. But the thing that I felt made Jocks and Sam's have always sort of countered each other. I always felt like Sam's had the better drinks and Jocks had the better food. And now I feel like Sam's has both. Sam's new menu offering the sticky wings, which are great wherever you get them. That Thai chicken flatbread is phenomenal. And the chips with the duck sauce are great too. Those three items make Sam's better. The Jocks menu changes and these new seasonal items, other than the wings being really, really good, are kind of a flop. This isn't working. Beyond that, Jocks still doesn't have the Anything Goes cup. They have removed all of the themed drink stirrers. Those have been gone for 6 months. They no longer exist. They're not coming back. They stopped making new coasters. Jock Lindsay's has just kind of crashed at this point. It's just not good. So
It's amazing.
I still like the Air Pirate pretzels. I'd go back for those, and I'd get the wings again. But other than that, it's just.
I have a question. Do you think they're doing so bad that we may not have this place around in a couple of years?
I don't think they'd ever close it. They will have to change the menu more. And I don't think they're not making money. I just think it's not making the money their other themed bars are.
Yeah.
It's
still finding its place. It'll find its menu.
There's people who are going to meander in, but I don't think this place has had nearly the success of Sam's, and it really should have. And it's just not achieving it. And I hope they figure something out soon. But Nick, do we have we have contestants for the game? Okay, so it looks like we're going to stop. I'll talk about Contempo Cafe after we play the game a little bit. But Nick, let's play some Pyramid. Who do we got playing, Nick?
All right, Tom, first up, we're going to bring on Tristan to play the game with us tonight. Good evening, Tristan. Where are you calling in from?
Texas.
All right. Whereabouts in Texas?
Austin, specifically.
All right. Austin, Texas. Well, thanks for calling in to play WWNT The Pyramid with us today.
No problem.
And so just a little refresher for everybody on hold, waiting to play. And you, Tristan, here is how the Pyramid goes. So we have a few categories here. They're all actually specifically or vaguely Halloween themed. And so what we're going to do here is the first thing you're going to have to do is pick one of us to play the game with, and you're going to put 1 full minute up on the clock, and we're going to pick a category, and we're going to give you clues, and you have to guess the 5 words. Now, Tom and I can't use the actual word, of course, in the clue.
We'll try our best to guide you to what we're talking about.
Exactly. And you got to guess the item, that thing, or whatever that we are.
So if the
talking
category was Walt Disney World Resort hotels, and I said to Nick, this is near the Magic Kingdom, and it's
Polynesian
monorail hotel.
Grand Floridian.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Bam. And it's as easy as that. So first things first, Tristan, who would you like to give you clues? Nick or Tom?
Nick.
Oh gosh.
Nick's so bad. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, all right. I'll give them the categories then.
All right, very good.
So we have 6. We should have done 7.
It's real lazy.
We have 6 category possibilities. I'm going to read them off to you. They're going to be vague for now, but once you pick one, we'll explain a little more what it is. The 6 categories you have to choose from are creatures that want to kill you, haunted mansion spooky time, watch out for black cats, I See Dead People, Back from the Dead, and It's Good to Be Bad.
I See Dead People.
I See Dead People. This is going to be once alive human beings who you can now see in attractions at the Walt Disney World Resort. So these are people who were real, died, but now live on in some form in Disney attractions.
All right. You ready to do this, Tristan?
Yes, I am.
Clock will start when I start talking here. Here we go. For 60 seconds up on the clock. All right. He's in the American Adventure. He's a writer.
Thomas Jefferson?
No, he talks to Ben Franklin. He's smoking.
You could pass.
Pass.
He Spaceship Earth. Printing. He created the printing press. They did a Bible. Printed the Bibles. The dude that's there with the printing press.
You could still pass.
Pass.
Okay.
President of the United States. Hall of Presidents. Tall dude. Hat. Beard.
Abe Lincoln?
Yes, Abe Lincoln. Created the world that you like to go to in the mouse. He created Mickey Mouse.
Walt Disney?
Yes. Played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in the great movie ride. You could see her skipping down the yellow brick road with the Tin Man. 10 seconds left.
Pass.
Pass. All right. The writer again. American Adventure. White coat. Talks to Ben.
One of the hosts. Oh. So the first person we were talking about, the one of the hosts of the American Adventure, Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
The creator of the printing press on Spaceship Earth, Gutenberg, not Steve Gutenberg, but I don't know why that's so important to me.
Stonecutters made him a star.
Judy Garland is the actress who portrayed Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, who you, of course, can see on the Great Movie.
All right.
Told you Nick was bad at this.
Oh my God, that wasn't me. I do. You know what?
Are you saying our listener did not do a good job?
Have you, Tristan? Have you been to Epcot?
Yes, I actually have.
Have you been on Spaceship Earth?
Yes, multiple times.
Pay attention. Learn your history, Tristan.
Remember your ABCs.
Okay.
Why? Why do you?
I'll tell you what.
ABCs?
Just for Nick berating you about not being good
Berating.
at the game, we're going to send you a prize anyway. So stay on the line. Nick will get your information. We'll send something out to you,
All right.
courtesy of Theme Park Connection.
Has he been to American Adventure? All right, we're gonna play another one here. We're gonna bring on. Let's bring on Ryan. Ryan, where are you calling in from?
Better make it real quick.
Ryan. Brian.
Rick.
Ryan.
Rick.
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 Rick. Rick. Hi, Rick. How you doing?
Brian.
Hey guys, good. How's
Rick.
Who do you want to play with, Tom or Nick?
Tom.
Good choice. All right. Would you like creatures that want to kill you, Haunted Mansion, Spooky Time, Watch Out for Black Cats, Back from the Dead, or It's Good to Be Bad?
It's good to be bad.
Good to be bad. These are going to be villains from Disney theme park attractions. Yeah,
that's it. 60 seconds on the clock, Tom. I'll start when you start.
This was the evil corporation in the Alien Encounter attraction.
Pass.
These people tried to kill the elephants on Kilimanjaro safaris.
Poachers.
This is a murderous person in the Haunted Mansion. She lives in the attic.
Madame Leota.
No, she lives in the attic. Husbands are dead.
Oh, the bride.
Bride is fine now. This guy is selling women. He's selling women to other pillaging people. All right, move on.
Pass.
This guy ruined Journey into Imagination. He's still in the ride. It's the guy from Monty Python.
Eric Idle.
What are you playing? No, he plays. That's the actor that plays him.
Oh, I should know this.
Oh, that's
Nigel
time.
Channing. The fictional corporation in Alien Encounter was Excess Tech, and the pirate auctioneer is selling women. But we'll send you something anyway. Just for
Ryan
playing.
gets something. All right, cool. So Tristan and Ryan, hold on. And Chris and Jonathan, you guys hold on as well. You'll play the pyramid in hour 2 when we return.
We'll be right back.
Celebrating 50 years as Apopka's hometown station. 1520 WBZW. Apopka, Orlando. Community events, financial news, weather, traffic, and more.
A service of Salem Media Group.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory says the death toll in his state from Hurricane Matthew now stands at 20. With storms and flooding, Governor McCrory says Robeson County has been particularly hard hit.
The challenges is the water, because your water system's broken down. The utilities is we still have a large amount of people without electric power, and we've got both the co-op and Duke Energy, so we're dealing with two different utilities. And these aren't just in downtown Lumberton or Pembroke. We've got people in the rural areas, less populated areas, that we're still reaching out to as we speak.
Governor McCrory called the residents in Robeson County the most resilient citizens I've ever met. The death toll from Hurricane Matthew in the United States now stands at 36. Donald Trump on the offensive today over emails leaked by WikiLeaks from Hillary Clinton's campaign manager and communications director. Trump says the leaked emails of Clinton staffers from 2011 attack Catholics and evangelicals.
These emails are just the latest evidence of the hatred that the Clinton campaign has for everyday faithful Americans.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the emails reflected the Clinton campaign's hostile attitude towards people of faith in general. But Trump is dealing with another accusation of inappropriate behavior with women. 2 women have told the New York Times that Trump acted in unseemly ways with them. Trump is denying those charges. A utility says a wiring error during an equipment upgrade sparked a power outage that affected 100,000 customers and shut down a refinery south of Los Angeles. According to Southern California Edison, the error occurred Tuesday morning at the Torrance Electrical Substation. Customers lost power for up to about 80 minutes in Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Hawthorne, Gardena, and Torrance. On Wall Street, the Dow by 16 points, the Nasdaq dropped 8, the S&P up by 2, oil at $50.18 a barrel. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360.
When man stops believing in God, he'll believe in anything. Torchbearer follows the Duck Commander Phil Robertson as he argues the absurdity of life without God.
Human civilization's best chance of survival is to anchor itself in the God of creation. God created man and woman in his image. We are image bearers of God.
Torch. This film is not yet ready. In select theaters October 7th. More information is available at torchbearermovie.com.
Welcome back to WDW News Tonight, live on AM 1520 WBZW, listen.wdwnt.com, on WDWNT, the app, and on YouTube. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Coming up on next week's show, the Disney Parks Pursuit is going to be back next week, and we hope to have Wine Bar George with us next week as well. Following week, October 26th, going to be our big Halloween special, a special Halloween edition of WDWNT, The Match Game, and we're going to talk about, we're doing the 45 greatest things ever at Walt Disney World. We're going to talk about the scariest things ever at Walt Disney World that week as well. Halloween special. We're going to wear costumes. And
does that include Nigel Channing?
Does that include the Nigel Channing Moon? Is definitely one of the 45 scariest. I'm sure it's going to be. Maybe we should do 45 scary things. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Do something like that. But Nick, who brings us? I'm afraid to throw this to you, Nick. Who brings us WDW News Tonight each and every week?
Well, Tom, that would be Magical Travel. WDW News Tonight is always brought to you by Magical Travel. Magical Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner and is always ready to assist you in making your next trip to the Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland Resort, or aboard the Disney Cruise Line even more magical. Right now, you can save up to 25% on rooms at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels for stays most nights January 1st through April 8th, 2017 when you book October 3rd through December 21st. Number of rooms available for this offer is limited, so make sure to act fast. For more information on this special offer and many more, visit magicaltravel.com and book your next Disney trip today.
Good job, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Very proud of you.
All right. So, no? Okay. You want to play Pyramid?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I know we're going a little going a little off script,
Not
but
a
yeah,
problem.
let's finish playing the Pyramid.
All right, here we go.
Can't see it, but Nick is.
All right, let's see if I can make up some more names.
Rick,
Chris.
That is correct.
It is Chris. All right, 1 point. All right. Well, thank you for holding on, Chris. You're going to play WDWNT The Pyramid with us. We have, I believe, 4 categories left for you to choose from. And but first, who are you going to play with, Tom or Nick?
Let's go, Tom.
Yeah, of course. He didn't do any better.
All right.
Tom did not do.
All right.
Creatures that want to kill you, haunted mansion, spooky time, watch out for black cats, or back from the dead.
Let's try Haunted Mansion Spooky Time.
Haunted Mansion Spooky Time.
Time.
Yeah, which of course is in Move It, Shake It, Dance It, Play It. That's why we put that. But this is going to be things you will find in the Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. It'll start when Tom begins speaking.
This is a thing dead people are in. You close it.
Coffin.
This tells time.
Clock.
More specific.
It's a big one with 13 on it.
Grandfather clock.
Play music. The one at Disneyland is from 20,000 Leagues. These sing.
No!
They're in the graveyard.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it.
Oh.
All right, fine. This is a bird. It's a black bird.
Raven.
I don't think that's fair on the other one because we almost didn't put that there. You really calling me on that one?
Well, I'm calling you on it, but I'm giving Chris a prize.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserves a prize. It was Singing Bust. I think you would have got it, but
Yeah,
originally, because when we made the game, it was going to be just Bust, and we added singing. So, in fairness, you definitely deserve a prize, and I didn't really screw up. But
Sure
anyway.
does. Thanks for playing, Chris. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Where are you calling in from, by the way?
Arlington, Virginia.
Arlington, Virginia. All right. Excellent. Well, we appreciate you calling in as always. Hold on there, and we'll get your info for a prize from Theme Park Connection. Next, we will bring on Jonathan. Good evening, Jonathan.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing excellent. And we have a few categories left, but first, who would you like to play with?
I'll play with you.
Look at that. Look at that.
You guilted our listeners into it.
I did a little bit, and I'm not ashamed. Not ashamed at all, Jonathan. We're gonna win this one. We're gonna get this. All right. So, would you like creatures that want to kill you? Watch out for black cats, or back from the dead?
Back from the dead.
All right, these are things that were once gone from Walt Disney World that came back to life.
All right, here we go. There are singing birds.
Chinatiki Room.
Yes. This one stars Michael Jackson.
Captain EO.
Yes. This is a thing that travels along Main Street, USA.
Nope. Nope. You said it. Next one.
These involve puppets, and they're at Epcot, and it moves around.
Muppet Mobile Land?
Yes. This one involves psychedelic songs. That
Magic Journey.
Yes.
How did he get that on just psychedelic songs?
Because I rock.
That's ridiculous.
Can't believe I avoided the
How
word
did you say
parade.
Main Street? We're gonna send you a prize regardless.
Of course.
But I'm glad he did it. He did an even worse one where he said what it was.
I was trying to avoid the word parade, and I
And you said
focused
Main
too
Street.
much on that. Yes.
You said 2 of the 4 words in the name.
Okay, you did the same thing in yours.
Nope.
Oh, all right.
Completely
Anyway,
different.
well, I appreciate that, Jonathan. You made me look good. I appreciate that very much. And
Real quick, can I throw out a quick request?
yeah, please.
Tom, I'd love to hear more about how you feel about the HHN houses. I know this is a WDW show, but next week I'll be at Halloween Horror Nights. I'd love to hear what you think of the houses this year.
Oh, for sure. I could run through them real quick right now. Actually, the mug of the week, if we put me on camera, I can't believe he brought this up.
That's cool.
The mug of the week this week is my Halloween Horror Nights 26 go.
Now, first, Jonathan, have you ever been to a Halloween Horror Nights before?
Last year was the first year I ever did it. I did one night last year, and I've got a Frequent Fear Plus pass, and I'll be doing 3 nights in a row.
Nice.
Really neat. I mean, if you love the properties that are involved in the houses this year, they're phenomenal. If you like The Exorcist house is great. If you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's a great house. If you watch American Horror Story, you're going to love the American Horror Story house. I haven't even seen Krampus. I still really enjoyed that. The only house this year I didn't enjoy is the Chance house, which I know she's the icon and it's supposed to be the main thing. But the 3D house this year, even though it was great last year, the Alice house was phenomenal last year. That one's really lacking this year. So if you're going to miss anything, that'd be the one to miss. Not that it sounds like with Frequent Fear you really want to miss any of it. But I really like all 8 of the other houses. The Ghost Town one the sets are beautiful. You're not going to get the biggest scares, but it's absolutely gorgeous inside. I love that house so much.
I care more about the sets than the scares anyway. So
you're going to love Ghost Town. Then Ghost Town's my favorite. It's really beautiful, and there's a couple really well thought out things in there. But the other ones, again, if you love those movies, if you're familiar with those movies and TV shows, you're going to really be wowed. Walking Dead is but I mean, at this point, everyone's getting kind of tired of Walking Dead. But Halloween is good too. I like the Halloween house a lot. Did I get them all? I don't even know if I got all 9.
Tomb of the Ancients.
Tomb of the Ancients I like. No one else in our group really has liked it so far. I think there's some really fun stuff in there, and I think it's hard to tell where the scares are going to come your first time through, which I like a lot about that. It is a weird house, but I think there's some fun stuff. Really, again, the only house I really don't want to do again is, I guess, Walking Dead and the Chance house are the only 2 I'm not really excited to see again. But the other 7, are really, really awesome. And you got to see Bill and Ted. Love me some Bill and Ted. And actually, they're doing that weird other stage show this year.
I've heard great things about that.
Super talented people. I thought it was just going to be a dance show. They are phenomenal. It's really amazing. Make sure you see it. Really fantastic. It's a great year again this year. But there you go.
Sounds good. I appreciate you doing that.
No problem.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Jonathan. Hold on the line, and we'll make sure we get you out another package from Theme Park Connection.
I haven't been out as much as I wanted this year. Things keep coming up, and I keep not getting to go. I think I'm going to go tomorrow.
Do you have like the pass?
I have the Frequent Fear for every night, and I've only been like 6 nights so far.
Have you done the VR stuff?
I haven't done it yet. I did the test last year.
Mm-hmm.
They tested it last year. We got into that. It was really neat. My friend Adam is really bugging me to go do the VR house, and now I've heard some good things, so I think I might try and get in on one now.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here. When we return, we're going to jump into the wonderful world of psychotic comments, and it's a doozy this week.
JP Morgan is now holding a record 55 million ounces of silver. Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these fat cat bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting another financial crisis, and over time, gold and silver win. Silver is trading below its production costs and is predicted to double by 2020. At Capital Gold Group, we offer gold and silver for direct delivery. Plus, our specialty is IRA rollovers for the ultimate in IRA security. Be one of the first 20 callers today to receive our free gold and silver buying guide. Capital Gold Group is A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau. So call now and see what investing in gold and silver can do for you. Call now, 800-430-7568, 800-430-7568, 800-430-7568. That's 800-430-7568.
In the market for a new home? Write down this number, 407-247-4184. Growing up, you didn't notice if your home was small or if the curtains were old. The important things about home were jumping into bed with mom and dad during a storm, getting to lick the spoon whenever mom baked a cake, and playing hide and seek in the backyard. Now you care about things like good neighborhood, square footage, and whether or not there's a breakfast nook. You also want to buy a home that gives you all the good feelings of the one you grew up in. A home where you walk in the door and you know this is home. That's where Todd Todd Schroeth of Remax Central Realty can help.
Hi, I'm Todd Schroeth of Remax Central Realty. A house is more than just a place to keep your things and lay your head. It's where you live life, create memories, and share tradition. Put our 20-plus years experience to work for you, and hey, let's find you a home.
Todd is a local community expert, a gold-level top producer, and a member of the Remax Hall of Fame. Call the Todd Schroeth Real Estate Team at Remax Central Realty today. Call 407-247-4184. Online at keepingorlandomoving.com. Come on, let's get moving.
Imagine an acne treatment breakthrough that even Proactive says is better than Proactive. Announcing today's Proactive Plus, the revolutionary way to clear your skin from the #1 name in acne care. Proactive Plus is our best, most effective solution ever. And when you call 1-800-738-1912 today, you can have it tomorrow. Proactive Plus is the modern acne miracle that treats your skin beautifully. The plus means more. More precise, targeted medicine for faster, gentler acne prevention. Plus, more skin-loving solutions so your complexion can look bright and beautiful.
I am just so happy with Proactive Plus. I don't think my skin has ever looked this good.
Call 1-800-738-1912. Be one of the first to try Proactive Plus. Guaranteed 100% risk-free. Call right now and even the shipping is free. Call 1-800-738-1912. 1-800-738-1912.
Little test track. Do we have Jason Mike right now? Is Jason on?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Jason, did you want to play the pyramid?
I would be willing to be one of the not the contestants, but one of the panelists.
Oh, okay. Because we still had 2 left if you wanted to play.
No, I already read all the answers. I can't
Oh,
play.
you saw the answers, you jerk.
No, but I'm willing because you said
they
how
were
bad
2
Nick
really
was.
good. Yeah, they're 2 really good categories.
We'll get them done.
Yeah, people still want to call in.
Even in the post show, we might be able to play them in the post show.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep.
We'll save them for the post show.
By
There
the
you
way,
go. Wigs only.
Yes, wigs only.
Patreon.com/WDW. You're about to plug that anyway. Go ahead and do that now. And now it's time for the wonderful world of psychotic comments, brought to you, of course, by WDWNT's Inner Globe Society. Nick, take it away.
All right, Tom, we're going to start off with the photos of the up-close look at the controversial facade for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Jay wrote in, I haven't seen much attack on the facade. Oh, wait, you're referring to the vocal minority of Disney fanboys who can't accept change and don't like anything new in the parks. Yes, that is who we are referring to. People still can't get over your original post, Tom, about Tower of Terror in Florida being better. DJ Middlebrow writes in, the idea that the Florida Tower of Terror is markedly better is overblown. The idea the ride vehicle leaves the elevator shaft and moves through the show space is intriguing, but nothing really happens. All that effort to see a big plexiglass eyeball. So there you go.
That's of course, the host of Radio Free Disneyland commenting.
This person, a person of this nature type chimes in on almost every single post about Hollywood studios. This was about your video getting an unobscured look at the construction.
Yeah.
Dave chimed in, they should just close the park and work 24/7 to get it done.
How many Osborne Light comments?
How many times do we see that little comment there? I like this one. I don't know why it belonged on the Electric Light Parade finale, but Juan wrote in, Disney USA parks have become a political mess of poor decisions that makes the current U.S. election candidates seem sane.
Sometimes you just got to grab the parks by the parade. You know? Anyway.
Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hall of Presidents. So speaking of elections.
My favorite comments ever, so please.
This is great. So Hall of Presidents will close for 6 months to add the new president. Okay. Keith wrote in, sure about that? If Hillary is elected, I believe she'll go in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train attractions as the evil queen with her poisonous narrative symbolized by the apple given to Snow White. Now, don't fear, everybody. We have equal opportunity jokes here, okay? Ivado2 writes in, if Trump gets in, they'll have to enlarge the whole room to get both him and his tremendous ego in. Not to mention rerouting the air conditioning to keep the stink out of the audience and his hair somewhere near his head. Daniel writes in, and Trump will be getting his own attraction based on Robin Hood. He will portray Prince John because they're both rich, spoiled brats that think they deserve to be king. Ivado wrote in, wouldn't you think they'd have 2 prototypes already in the works? Of course, it will take a long time to get enough orange paint together and record enough Trump speeches to string together one coherent sentence if he wins.
They could probably just use the Ellen animatronic for Hillary.
And they keep on coming. Jovi writes in, are there any other single-issue voters who vote based on who we'll see as the next addition to the Hall of Presidents?
That's disturbing. Almost as disturbing as this presidential election.
I mean, it's as good as anything once it comes down to it, you know? Norman writes in, I think they should save time and money by just using the alien figure from the Great Movie Ride. It can stand in for either candidate.
There you go. Crossing the aisle with comments.
Sheets writes in, neither one of them are worthy of standing with the other figures on that stage. If I were to vote, I would write in Mickey Mouse.
They know Richard Nixon and
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, there's George Bush, and there's a lot of people up there. Iffy presidents.
Danny Arundel writes in, if Hillary is elected, I wonder if one of the audio animatronics next to Bill will be relocated so she could be next to him.
He probably wouldn't like that.
No, I know. He probably wouldn't. He'd want her on the other side of the stage.
He's going to be over. He's going to be over at the Diamond Horseshoe waiting for the camera.
Is there a Monica audio animatronic kind of down there beneath?
No. Keep moving.
What would Walt do? Writes in, I'd rather have Trump running the Walt Disney Company instead of Iger and have him as president. I have more respect for Trump than Iger or even Chapek.
Shanghai Disney's going to be huge. Be huge. Trump, Shanghai, Disney.
Oh, man. All right. 2 more. Breed 7 wrote in. They'll need 6 months.
7?
Yeah, 7. They'll need 6 months to record Putin's portion of the speech if Trump wins, and Putin will be the one pulling the puppet strings. DJ Middlebrow finishes up our comment by writing in, the hair technology does not currently exist to make a Trump audio animatronic.
It does. Ariel has the flowing hair. Not true. So and go listen to Radio Free Disneyland if you enjoy DJ's comment.
All right, but we wanted to finish up the psychotic comments here. We had a lot of comments about the hurricane, and first I wanted to do the kind of funny exchange that I found there, and then we'll get into a couple of the more serious ones. But you wrote a post about how they were evacuating Fort Wilderness Campground.
Yes.
Okay. And there was just the most ridiculous exchange between literally 5 different people.
I haven't read this, so I'm excited.
So the first person wrote, I believe it's called Fort Wilderness Lodge. Are these articles proofread? Cindy wrote in. No, it gets worse. Cindy wrote in, this article is talking about the Fort Wilderness campgrounds, not the lodge. Jane writes in, the Wilderness Lodge is totally different and separate from Fort Wilderness. There is no fort in the title of Disney's Wilderness Lodge.
Correct.
Jerry writes in, it is Fort Wilderness Lodge. You are correct about that. However, it's the Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground that's being affected.
Oh, my God.
Then Barbara writes in, no, it is Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness Campground. To kind of line it up. So, I mean, it was
I feel
amazing.
like this reminds me of the argument in Mallrats where they can't decide if like the cookie shop is part of the food court, and it's just like a bunch of idiots just screaming like the cookie stand is a separate. Never mind.
So to set the record straight, it is Fort Wilderness Campground.
Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground and Disney's Wilderness Lodge.
There you go. So okay, so. There were a lot of posts. Oh, there was one more funny one. Ryan, I guess, got mad at somebody that was posting the same thing on all the hurricane posts, kind of degrading people. So he wrote, "So make like a Disney park manager and disappear." And then I just wanted to read because there were so many negative comments, and I actually want to read a little bit of Linda's post because
I didn't get a chance to comb through nearly all of them because obviously we were real busy keeping up with the updates, but also those posts did such huge traffic. There's so many comments on all of them. It's really a lot to go through.
Well, so it got a little bit out of hand. Most obviously negative about the negative, about the apparent negative service that people felt like they were receiving, long lines, maybe possible. We're going to address all this. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. I'm just kind of commenting what was made in the comments. People commenting on how, it was just unprepared. Disney wasn't prepared and they were receiving poor service, and they were yelling at cast members and management and things like that. I don't know. Linda kind of put it in perspective for me and everybody. I think she said, I think people need to be a little bit less what's in this for me. Hundreds of people have died in Haiti and other places because of this hurricane. And she said, show some love and concern for the human lives and look out for one another instead of worrying about, going out and getting your fancy meal or things that, the luxuries over there. Right now, focus on safety and live. College kids and cast members have families and pets and a home life that they need to get back to as well. Please be respectful of that and ride out the storm with wisdom and contentment for all. And I think that kind of leads me into like what I really saw on those comments. And I get that you want to make sure that you're provided for and you have your stuff. I feel like people kind of felt a weird. I really relate this to the gators. When we talked about the alligators, people had this odd sense that it's Disney unprotected. It's, things can't go that wrong. And I feel like people thought that even leading up to the hurricane, heard some of the warnings, and then at the last minute decided to, go and get their
I think everybody
provisions.
went home at 5:00 on Thursday because the parks were closing, and we're surprised that there was lines at the counter service.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, obviously Thursday night the hurricane had not reached here. We were starting to experience bad weather, but it wasn't bad. That wasn't hurricane time yet.
Yeah.
Now clearly, if the hurricane really hit Orlando, if we had actually been hit hard, Disney would have taken care of people. They had everybody. There were emergency vehicles set up in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, and they had produce and everything brought in, and all this crazy prep work stuff done. But Thursday night, nothing had started. They were just operating the food courts and things. They were. I know some food courts were operating on limited menus, but that's just because they were trying to keep up with demand.
Well, here's one thing. I think for some reason people were losing sight, and I get in a time of panic when there's other people around you saying, oh, we gotta get this, we gotta get that, then you do it. I mean, it happens in your local supermarket and things like that.
Yeah, the supermarkets here still haven't recovered. I went to Target yesterday and it was still pretty empty.
But in the end, you're in as safe a place as you can.
You're in a luxury hotel.
As far as safety, as far as the building's not going to fall down on you, you're going to be safe. And I feel like people lose sight of that, and you're not going to starve. It's not going to end up being this Lord of the Flies type thing where you're going to have to forage for yourself if the thing really strikes hard.
Yeah, I mean Disney didn't create the curfew. The curfew was created by Orange County, and that was their decision. And that's not Disney's problem, the curfew, because if everybody's still fine and it's not Disney's obligation to give you free food at that point. I mean, the counter services were functioning, and they offered an added meal thing, which probably wasn't a good value and was probably kind of dumb, but it was offered.
But they also, I do think that people either didn't take it seriously or something leading up to it and decided they had time. I mean, these things are moving slow. You have time. I mean, I say the same thing to people running to the grocery store the night before the storm. Have a few things so that you're ready. Stock up on a couple things, and even if you can't get off property easily, you can still stock up on things around the park that you could have back at your hotel room. And honestly, like I said, people are complaining about long lines and possibly miscommunication or bad communication. But in the end, you have a place to weather out the storm, and you have your family together. And that I don't get it. And someone would have to really explain it to me. And there were no good explanations of any kind why people were saying they were receiving bad service.
The only thing people had to throw at them was this $13 sandwich box. For those of you unaware, Disney slapped together a bunch of boxes with sandwiches and fruit and things like that. Didn't include a drink, nor did it need to. You could buy a beverage. And the thought behind that was people are not going to want to barge out of their rooms in the middle of a storm. Offer them something they can keep in the little fridge in the room was the idea behind that. Not that they couldn't have kept other counter service items, which were still available. This wasn't the only thing available at the counter service locations. So I don't really understand why that was it overpriced. Yes, but Disney rushed to put these together with the intention being this is absolutely, if you need food while the storm is going on, here's food for you to keep in the room. And you certainly still could have went to the shop in your hotel and bought all sorts of bagged foods and drinks and stuff like that. All of that stuff was still available. People just really wanted to jump on this box, which I understand it was overpriced and kind of silly, but at the same time, it was far from the only thing available.
That box was the emergency preparation that Disney had done, and that was the only thing that was sort of necessary for them to roll out. There was much more emergency preparation that was behind the scenes that no one saw because they didn't need to.
And they sold them early because they could. Now, if they lost power and the curfew continued longer than expected, you could bet that Disney would hand out those boxes. And in many cases, anyone who complained about the box being $13 was handed one, in fact. So, I mean,
the three biggest complaints I will say I saw is that they thought the lines got way out of hand, like the service was too slow.
I agree with that. I think they knew what the problems were going to be, but I guess they probably were short cast members also. You probably had only so many cast members on the ride out crew. So you couldn't really implement more registers if you're short on people. So,
the other thing was people said they couldn't find cast members or managers to give them information on what was going on. I don't understand how that's a real complaint, because you know what's happening and you know what you have to do to avoid it. People were complaining about didn't know that the park was going to be open or something, or I guess closed on Friday, and
they left messages in guest rooms and everything. I think people were just looking to point fingers, which is sad because this is a natural disaster, and this isn't something Disney controls. And I'm not saying it's not Disney's job to take care of you. It absolutely is to a certain extent.
To an extent,
yeah, but it's not their job to babysit you.
No.
Like they offer free ice water in the parks and all those nice little complimentary things they do, But in this case, they were very much prepared for people's safety. The problem is it never came to that point. People were never really unsafe.
No, not at all.
It never got that bad here. So all the preparation they did, the boxes they prepared, none of that got used. And so, it was what it was. But were they not supposed to charge you for food on Thursday night? I think that's preposterous. Absolutely, they charge you for food. Like, you weren't entitled to free food there, and they were still accepting the dining plan and everything, just not for the stupid box. It all comes back to the stupid box. This is the thing I saw people just keep complaining about. I don't think Disney did anything wrong. I think they staffed things as best they could. It's not easy to get all your cast members to agree to stay and work during a storm. They did what they could.
Yeah, it seems like it.
But all right. I think we talked about that enough. Nick, tell people about we forgot to tell people about Patreon.
I could do that.
It's in there somewhere.
I could tell people about Patreon.
Yes, who brought us our wonderful world of psychotic comedy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then with the comments. That's right. Well, it's brought to you by WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. And that's your way to support us, WDWNT. Get access to exclusive community and full-length audio and video shows that you can't find anywhere else, like the post show we're going to do tonight, and after many of the news tonight. And Tom's falling asleep there, so maybe we won't. Maybe Nick will get to go home. And
we're doing it.
For more information, go to patreon.com/WDWNT. That's patreon.com/WDWNT. Or just visit WDWNT.com. Click on that Patreon link and join WIGS and help make WDWNT happen through Patreon.
Yes. And lots of new members this week. Welcome aboard to all our new WIGS members that have joined in the last couple of days.
Yeah, thank you.
Big surge.
You bought Tom Junior's Thanksgiving flatbread.
In some cases, yeah. You save the rest of the world from Junior's Thanksgiving flatbread if they read that review. So thank you. So I wanted to bring Jason. We didn't really have any topic for the in-depth discussion this week, so I wanted to bring Jason in. I wanted to talk about Jason. You just went on a Disney cruise.
Yes, I did.
Where did you go? What cruise? What boat did you go on? Where'd you go?
So this was the September 17th sailing of the Disney Fantasy, and I'm actually going to put the map up of the itinerary. Like I'm prepared for this and stuff.
Amazing.
So this was September 17th before the hurricane. Although actually we knew some people who were sailing out right before the hurricane and
They changed their destination.
They did. They got completely detoured, which was a good thing. But anyway, so we left Port Canaveral on a Saturday. We stopped at Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman and the Cayman Islands, Falmouth in Jamaica, and then, of course, the obligatory stop at Castaway Cay on the way home. So it was a 7-night cruise.
7?
Yeah, 7.
So what prompted this? Why did you guys decide to go? You obviously been on many Disney cruises at this point.
Yeah, so actually this marked my 5th Disney cruise. Disney gives you a discount if you book your next cruise while you're on the ship, right? So in 2012 we booked a cruise. Well, the discount doesn't last for 4 years. But once you book a cruise, you can just move the date. You will lose the discount at some point. But we basically just moved the date. We kind of pushed the date forward a couple times until it was sort of a good time for us to go on a cruise. So coming down for the 45th anniversary on October 1st, we figured, hey, let's go on a cruise like a week before that, since we'll be in Florida anyway. So that's what we did.
Okay. So what was significant about this cruise? One of the things I was interested in, you got to do the Halloween stuff.
Yeah. So this was called Halloween on the High Seas. And there's all kinds of merchandise out with Halloween on the High Seas. They have trick-or-treating on the ship, and they give you out little trick-or-treat bags like they do at Mickey's Not So Scary, except for these say Halloween on the High Seas.
They're almost identical bags.
They are, except for the side that says Halloween on the High Seas. There's a Halloween tree in the lobby of the ship that sprouts pumpkins one night during the cruise, and they tell Halloween stories about it. One of the coolest things of the Halloween offerings was they had a 10 p.m. showing of The Nightmare Before Christmas in the Walt Disney Theater, which is their large theater.
Mm-hmm.
A 10 p.m. showing of The Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D.
That's cool.
And it was actually, there were some 4D effects too. There were some lighting effects and confetti effects at the end. So that was really neat. And then the coolest part of that was at the end of the movie, as the credits are rolling, the Walt Disney Theater is like a Broadway style theater. So there has the floor that opens up, and the floor opened up, and Jack and Sally raise up on this platform, and then walk off the stage down the aisle, and there's a meet and greet right outside. So that was really cool because I was like the third person in line for a Jack and Sally meet and greet. And I know
Walt Disney World is a disaster.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour line at Walt Disney World during the Halloween parties, and it was like a 3-minute line for me. So that was amazing. That was very cool. So, there's a lot of decorations around the ship. The windows have, pumpkin faces on. So it's a really nice touch. It's not overdone at all. But there was actually a lot more, little Halloween themed things around the ship than I kind of expected. So it was really well done. It's not something I would book a cruise. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to book a cruise in September and October.
Specifically you would book.
Right, yeah. Like if it was a toss-up, it might sway the needle a little bit, but it wasn't something. I didn't even know about it when I originally booked a cruise, we just like cruising in September and October because it's usually not as hot, although this year was an exception to that.
It sure was.
But also the prices are pretty low because a lot of kids are back to school, so it makes it much more affordable as well.
There you go. If anyone has any questions about the cruise, they can certainly call in at 407-774-8255. We have the phone lines open. I know we don't often talk about Cruise Line, but Jason, just want to figure this might be kind of neat to talk about it.
Yeah, and I have a lot of pictures, especially with the people who love all of the restaurant reviews that you do from Walt Disney World. I took a lot of pictures of all the food offerings and menus at the restaurants on the ship that we ate at.
So you're going to be running some regular cruise articles for a little bit.
I've got plenty of content to write, a bunch of articles, so I'll probably space them out over the next couple of months with a lot of pictures and stuff. So, I mean, the Fantasy is a great ship. It's got the Aqueduct, which is the Aqueduct is
you were
kind of
underwhelmed.
I was underwhelmed with the Aqueduct.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was expecting like Typhoon Lagoon, but you know, the Crush and Gusher at Typhoon Lagoon is still one of my favorite water attractions, and the Aqueduct is really like it's like if you could make a kiddie version of Crush and Gusher, that's what the Aqueduct was like.
Crush and Gusher is so good.
The neatest thing of the Aqueduct is the fact that you're in a clear acrylic tube. So you can see out. So the first time I ran it, or the first time I rode it, we were actually docked in Cozumel. So it was kind of neat to be able to ride it and look out and see Cozumel while you're riding the Aqueduct. But it's not a thrill ride by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
It's more of like it's a nice ride. It's fun. It certainly has repeatability. I rode it, I think, 3 times during the course of the week.
How long did you have to wait?
The waits were no longer than 10 minutes most of the time.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Like the first day, the waits got up to like half an hour, 40 minutes, because everybody wants to do it, right? But I did it. I did it when we were in port at Cozumel in the afternoon. So we got off and walked around Cozumel for a couple hours. Got back on the ship for lunch, and then that afternoon I rode it. It was 10-minute wait. The next day in Grand Cayman, I did the same thing, and it was 10-minute wait. There's sort of a conveyor belt thing that takes the tubes to the top for you. So you know when you ride Crush and Gusher, you have to get the tube at the bottom and carry it to the top.
Yeah.
Well, on the ship, they have a conveyor system that takes the tubes to the top for you. So you just have to wait in line. 2 days that we were there, that was broken. And, so we actually did have to carry our tubes to the top. But luckily, it was a 10-minute wait, so it wasn't a big problem at all. It made the line look a lot longer than it was.
Yeah. All right. So I have a weird question about cruises, I guess, in general. Do they do you keep like Eastern time?
Yeah, that's a great question. Usually the ship will keep Eastern time until you get to a port that's in a different time zone. So Cozumel, no, it's not. Is it Cozumel? Yeah, I think Cozumel is in Central Time Zone.
Okay. That makes sense.
So you go. Let me. I just want to check this. Look at it. Yeah, Cozumel, I think, is in Central Time.
Yeah.
So you do change because you want to be on the same time zone as the port. When you're at sea, it makes no difference at all. So the whole first sea day. So there's one whole day at sea between Port Canaveral and Cozumel. That whole sea day, you're on Port Canaveral time.
Well, doesn't it make a difference as far as their shows at certain times?
Well, it does make a difference, right? I mean, it makes a difference because you need to know what time things are happening.
Yeah.
So that's called ship's time, and the ship stays on Eastern time until the night before you get to Cozumel.
Gotcha.
So the night before you get to Cozumel, they tell you set your clocks back.
Okay.
Because Cozumel is Central Time.
Yeah.
And then so that day, ship's time is Cozumel time, Central Time. And then you change it back before I think you changed it back after Jamaica. We changed it back, so I kind of think Jamaica's in Central Time as well. Either that, or actually, I think what it is that Cozumel is in Central Time. Grand Cayman and Jamaica don't observe daylight savings time, so they're effectively Central Time when we're Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay.
And then you go
Confusing
back.
enough for everybody.
Then you go back to Eastern Time before you get to Castaway Cay. So they tell you there's notes. There's a note on your bed at night that says, "Hey, make sure you set your clock ahead or back an hour."
Yeah.
What shows did you see?
We saw the first night show, which is kind of the welcome show, introduction show.
Yeah.
And then we saw the Aladdin show.
Okay.
The Aladdin show is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Everybody I was with loved the Aladdin show. It was fantastic.
It's just Aladdin?
Yeah, it's the Aladdin story, but it's a Broadway. It's kind of like the Broadway show.
Is it similar to the California show?
I haven't seen the California one, so I don't know.
You never saw it? Okay.
No, I've never seen it. Nope. But I imagine it must be. I mean, it's kind of like a live stage version of Aladdin. I mean, they've got the flying carpet, the genie's there, Jafar is there. There's like flames and stuff going on at times.
Does the genie make funny pop culture references?
Oh my gosh, he does.
Okay.
He does.
You basically saw the California show.
Yeah. I imagine it was very much like the California show. But yeah, the genie definitely makes very timely pop culture jokes from things that happened like several weeks ago.
Yeah.
What other shows were offered that you didn't go see?
There's Disney Wishes and Believe is another one. Those, I mean, I wanted to go see them. I know they're all very good shows. Some of them I'd seen before.
That's like my number one thing I want to do. Is I really want to go for the shows.
Yeah, like I would say the first night's show is a good show if you've never been on a cruise before.
Yeah.
For me, it was kind of like, because it's like there's some singing and dancing, but there's also some introduction to the ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a good show for first-time cruisers. But that's one you could kind of skip. The other ones I wish I would have seen, but the problem with the cruise, and this is something I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write about this. The problem with the cruise is kind of a very similar problem that you run into when you vacation at Walt Disney World. You've got 4 parks, and you got to pick which park to do, when, and then you've also got different things to do in the parks, and there's only so much time to do it all.
Yeah.
The cruise really magnifies that to the extent that it's like if you had one day at Disney World and wanted to see all 4 parks, you'd have to give up a lot of things to get to do what you want to do. And the cruise is the same way. They come out with a schedule. They call it the Personal Navigator.
Yeah.
And it's got like 7 things scheduled at a time. At least 7, yes. Like throughout the whole day. So if you want to see, there's movies in the movie theater on the ship all the time, right? And they often get first run movies and sometimes previews. So there was I can't remember what it was called, the new live action one with the princess
Moana.
No, not the animated one. Live action. Queen.
Oh, the
something.
Queen. Oh, Kataiwa.
Yes, that one. Yeah. Queen Cotway. They had that, and I wanted to go see it because it's a brand new movie. I didn't.
No one else
I had
in
a
your
week.
family wanted to see that.
No, they all wanted to see it. We had a week on the ship, and we didn't have time to do it.
Oh wow!
That's how bad it is trying to get everything done that you want to do on the ship. It's so much worse than Walt Disney World. Like you can say, oh, well, we'll come back and do Country Bear Jamboree tomorrow. On the ship, you can't do that because something is scheduled and then they don't have it again. Like the Nightmare film only ran twice during the whole week. So if you really wanted to see Nightmare Before Christmas, there were only 2 times to do it, and you had to give up something else in order to go do that. That's
what are the things there to do other than like shows and eat and the water stuff? Yeah.
So there is, I mean, basically there's a whole section of the boat that's nightclubs. So there's it's kind of like pleasure, but you don't have to walk outside and to go from one to the other. They're all kind of connected. It's actually really nice. But there's basically like a big nightclub that does comedy and other things. There's a wine bar. There's a champagne bar. There's a cigar bar. There's a martini
Is there
bar.
a wine bar Jacques?
Yeah, Jacques is expanding.
Wine bar Jacques.
Jacques. But then you've also got restaurants. You've got Palo and Remy, which are the upscale restaurants. We had one of the shows one night was a ventriloquist comedian, which was really funny, and another show another night was a hypnotist, which asked for volunteers, and I got called up on stage, and I was up on stage during his show for about half an hour. That was rather interesting. So, and then there's always comedians in one of the nightclubs. There's a sort of club area called D Lounge, which is like a family club that they do game shows and stuff. So, there's different kinds of game shows that they have, like Family Feud and things like that, that they run all day and part into the night.
Like Disney themed?
Yeah, oh yeah, Disney
Yeah.
themed. Yes,
That's
there's
cool.
like trivia games and stuff where you win prizes. Vacation Club has a couple of different events during the cruise. Vacation Club members are all invited to those. They give out free champagne and cookies, and you can win prizes and stuff for there. They try to get you to add on points, which of course is what they want you to do. But there's so much to do, and when I start writing the articles, I have the personal navigators from every day of the week, so I can scan those and put those into the articles. So you'll see. They have like towel folding demonstrations and craft things for the kids and, cookie making. And they have one of the things I did was a tour of the ship that focused on the theming and the Imagineering and the design of the ship. And that was a really, really interesting tour. You didn't really get to go see anything behind the scenes, but a lot of the intricate details. I mean, you talk about the parks and the intricate details and the queue lines and stuff. The ships are the same way. Being designed by Imagineers, you're going to get the intricate details in the ships and things that they put there that you don't even know exist, and things like that. So all of those, there was about an hour-long tour that talked and showed us some of those really neat details and stuff like that. So,
and those are included with the cruise?
The only thing that's not included with the cruise really is merchandise and alcohol.
Yeah. Okay.
You could really, it's kind of like if you go to Disney World and you get on the Grand Plan dining plan, and all your food.
It only exists for a couple more weeks.
And all your food and non-alcoholic beverages are included. So there's plenty of stuff to spend money on. Don't get me wrong. But the really nice thing about the cruise is that you're thirsty at 3 a.m. You can go get yourself a drink at the 24-hour soda machine.
My mother said my father must have had, they counted like 45 sodas a day. Like he just kept going, and it was insane.
And what the experienced cruisers among us do is we bring really big cups. So we'll go to the soda machine and fill up a big like a 64-ounce insulated mug.
Yeah.
And then you have it all day. And
no, they bought like the cruise mug or whatever.
Yeah, but that's fine, and the cruise mugs are good, but they're the same as the same size as the Disney Parks mugs, where they don't really hold.
Got to bring a big goal.
What is it called? Bubba keg is what I had. It's like a 64-ounce keg shaped cup with a straw hole in the top. But that's one of the really nice things. And for the kids, that's great. The other thing is that, all the dining in the regular restaurants is included. So you go to the restaurants and, my daughter who's 12, really enjoys eating new things and trying new foods and stuff. So she would order off of the adult menu, which is fine, and they don't care. She'd order off the adult menu, and your servers are the servers. You think the service at like the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian is good? The service on the ship is far and away amazing. Like the servers would tell, like she ordered something, and the server said to her, "Look, if you don't like this, just tell me, and I'll bring you something else." Because it's there, you can have it.
That's the glory of not having having everything included, and I know that's the difference that people love about the cruise.
And so like, and you have a dedicated person who's your stateroom host, who will clean your room and make your bed every day, and it's really jarring actually to go from a cruise where you have a stateroom host that cleans your room 3 times a day. They'll come in the mid-morning and make your bed. They'll come in the afternoon and clean your room, and then they'll come in the evening and turn down your sheets and put little chocolates on your pillow. And to go from that to a DVC resort where they clean your room once every 4 days is really, really quite jarring.
They come in once every 2 days to spit on your bed.
It's really quite jarring. The difference in the level of service.
Well, we're quickly running out of time here, but obviously you're going to have a bunch of articles and videos and photos and things to share. So we're excited about that as we try to branch a little bit into cruise line and see how that goes. Kind of a little bit of a test for us at this point. So we'll stay tuned for all that. Jason, thank you very much for your time as always.
Hey, I'm here anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, Nick.
Yeah.
Who hates Tom now?
Oh, I can't wait to find out. All right, Tom, you put up the post review of Jack Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
There's already angry reviews there?
You reviewed some of the food and beverage. Disney Pete wrote in. Tom wrote, quote, "I had never had a Cuba Libre before. It was very smooth with little to no alcohol taste," end quote. Disney Pete wrote in, "If it had little to no alcohol taste, it wasn't properly made."
Yeah, probably not. That's why the review wasn't good.
It was your favorite drink. It was the one you said you'd order
how
again.
bad they all were. But I don't like alcohol flavor.
Didn't make that clear.
That's why I order pina coladas.
The post Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom has LED nighttime lighting. Yawn wrote in, "Tom, you're telling me the coaster in Florida hasn't been neglected like Anaheim was? I know they did a refurb in 2009, but let's call it what it was, putting lipstick on a pig."
Wow.
Yes.
Way to be timely with your reference.
Yes. I like this one. Your photos, Doctor Strange Marvel meet and greet construction at Hollywood Studios. No period writes in, "Let's give the article a title with a definitive answer with literally zero evidence." Zero evidence. In fact, in the post, you said that they had no clue what was going in there. Hurricane Matthew cancels the Hurricane Matthew post. Disney cancels special events. Check your facts writes in, "This post is not accurate. I'm at Walt Disney World right now, and guests cannot get a refund for the Halloween party."
Yeah, they could. I responded to that.
None wrote into your reply. Your reply was an hour and a half later after Disney finally canceled the event. So the initial post was not accurate until the update came from Disney hours later. Anything to say to that? Anything to say to that, Tom?
I'm shopping for Tokyo.
No, throw back in. I don't care what you claim to have. I spoke with 8 different individuals, including managers, until Disney announced the party.
They were missing 4.
Until Disney announced the party cancellation.
No, people had canceled the day before with a refund and a reschedule. It's not true.
Doesn't matter if it's true or not. He hates Tom. I like the screen name Nope, period. That is a good one. By the way, I did leave out another comment on the psychotic comment. Somebody wrote in, "Why are we all of a sudden getting so many negative comments on the WDWNT.com comments section on the posts?" And I contend that it's because we started a new segment, Wonderful World of Psychotic Comments. People are vying to be a part of it.
I contend that we started out with a really great, fantastic core audience of hardcore fans who get what we do. And now we have this really giant audience filled with a lot of people, and now that's what you get when you become popular.
If you're listening on 1520 WBZW, jump over to WDWNT.com, become a Patreon member, and listen to our after show.
The link is going to be through Patreon.
Well, they could become a member.
They can become a member at patreon.com/WDWNT.
They could do it anyway. They could go to your website.
Well, they can do it that way, too. It's true. And remember, kids, Chardonnay, gone tomorrow. Good night.